Hello, this is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Namaste. Hello, good afternoon. Namaste. This is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Today, we are going to make one of my most favorite things, and that's Thai curry. So there are three types actually. There's yellow, red, and green. Today we are going to make the green one, and there are three things which I have done as usual. I have prepped and I have kept for you. So let me introduce you to that first. So this is as usual rinsed and soaked rice. Again, I have taken long grain basmati rice. You can take whichever you want. Coconut milk. I'm using the store bought today, but you can easily take it out at home if you get hold of a fresh coconut. Crack it and take out the white flesh and just grind it up. Sieve it nicely. The first extract is the coconut cream, and you keep that aside, and the pulp that is left, you pour more hot water in it, let it sit for a bit, and then you sieve it again. Nicely squeeze out the life out of it, and then that's what you are left with. The liquid that you're left with is the coconut milk. So that is that. And for the paste, today there are a few things which I could not lay my hands on, but that doesn't compromise the taste. So today what I'm using is ginger, lime leaves, kaffir lime leaves, a fresh ginger, a small piece of fresh ginger, 2 green chilies. You can increase or decrease the amount of green chilies as per taste, and cloves of garlic, peeled and washed. Garlic should be a little more in quantity, because that's what lime leaves and garlic, basically these are the two strong flavors that we want. Okay, and usually then you use lemongrass and which I didn't have. So we are going to grind all this with soy sauce, a dash of soy sauce in it, and fish sauce is also used, which I'm not going to use in our vegetarian version today. So we are only going to grind it up with a little bit of soy sauce. And the veggies I'll show you as we go along. This is one thing that I've done. I washed and sliced the baby corn, and I just blanched it, in the sense I just put a dash of water in a small microwave bowl, and I just whacked it in the microwave for a minute, so that it just about becomes a little bit soft, because baby corn can take a little longer to cook than the other veggies. So this is the prep that you do. It's not really cooking. You just kind of blanch it in the microwave. That's that, and that's all. And I have pre-prepped the paste for you. So once you grind it, this is what it looks like. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. So heat on. Something is going to fall over here, which I have to control, but okay, that will be later. So heat on a low. Oil, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon actually. This is not really a tablespoon, it's a dinner spoon. Okay, so what is usually done authentically in Thailand, or when they're making the curry, is the coconut milk that I was talking about. The first extract, the coconut cream that you get, they use that to cook instead of the oil. But since we don't have that, I'm going to use oil. You can use oil. You can use any kind of oil that you want. Coconut oil, if you have, really goes very well with the dish. It really makes it even more fragrant and gives it that coconutty punch, So you can use that. I'm using normal rice bran oil. So I normally cook with that, or I cook with olive oil. These are the two kinds of oil that I normally use. So having said that, so oil is almost, so first the sliced onions. It was a very big onion, so I've just taken half. So that much onion that goes in. Okay. Carrots. beans. So all this is going in. Oh, and you know what happened? I'm using a tissue paper. I'll tell you the story behind this. I got reprimanded yesterday by my mom. I'm 44 and my mom is almost 70, and I still get reprimanded by her. And I believe this is a habit that I had since I was a child. So yesterday I believe what I was doing, which was unknowingly of course, I was going on wiping myself like this. I am sure all of you all noticed. And I used to do this as a child also. And she got so angry at me. She got so angry at me because I went to La Martiniere for Girls, which is a very prestigious school in Calcutta, and we used to have a pristine white, crisp white uniform. And when I used to come back from school, because we were outdoors and we were playing and everything, my sleeve used to be grey, I believe, because I used to keep doing that, and I still have that habit. It's a very bad habit, but I still have it. And I believe I was doing that a lot yesterday, and she said it's very unladylike what you're doing. So today, ladylike it seems. And so that okay, then the baby corn, which I have blanched and kept, as I told you. That cauliflower florets, this is not cooked because this doesn't take time at all, hardly. And beautiful peppers, all colors, green, red, yellow. All of that goes in. Now start giving it a stir. Turn the heat up to a high so that, see, I did that again. My mom is really going to get angry. I'll share with you something that I read on my newsfeed today, and it really disturbed me highly. We'll talk about that as we go along. At the moment, concentrate on the veggies. And authentically, brinjal, aubergine, bengan is used. In Thailand you get the small baby brinjal. So you get it in India and Calcutta also, but today I couldn't get them. Small ones. So you just cut the head off and just slice it in between and take and put that. It really tastes good. But today I didn't have it, so I didn't use it. Under the circumstances that we are, we make do with whatever we have. Stir. As you can see, they are all sweating away. At this point, as usual, masala box out and salt in a little bit so that the veggies get a little help. Okay. So at this point we turn the gas to low, and I had 2 or 3 lime leaves just to show you I kept. So one of that I'm taking now, and the trick to using a lime leaf is, again, it doesn't look like anything, it won't smell when you pluck it out of the plant. I have a lime plant also, so I use that. And I get beautiful small lemons also out of that, which I have used today to take out the juice for the drink. Okay. So what you do is, the moment you start crushing it, and you crush it nicely, the moment you start crushing it, it releases all its oils. And once the oils are released, it will start smelling beautiful. And this one leaf you put in right now so that the veggies also get aromatic, and they soak in the flavor of that lime leaf. This is by far one of the most important ingredients of Thai curry. And in case you cannot lay your hands on the lime leaf, what you can do is, you take a lemon, a green or a yellow, whichever you have, and grate the skin. There's a thin layer of that green or yellow skin, and then there is a white part. So that white part should not be used because it's bitter. The green or the yellow layer, the covering of the lemon or the lime can be used. That is again as fragrant as the leaf, and it will give you the same effect. So use that in case you don't lay your hands on the leaf. Easy. Okay, so veggies almost done. sweating away. At this point now, you add the paste. The paste goes in and try and amalgamate the paste as much as you can with the veggies. So what we put in the paste was lime leaves, green chilies, ginger, garlic and soy sauce. These are the 5 things that I've put. If you can get your hands on lemongrass, again it gives it a very good flavor. So what you do with the lemongrass is you peel off it's like a stalk. So you peel off the outer skin and then you just make it, cut it into small cubes and you just put that and grind it with the rest of the things as well. So that is done. Salt we put, and at this point now what we do is we put in a dash of water so that the paste kind of starts coating all the veggies. And okay, so that's being done. Now we cover it for 2-3 minutes and let it cook. And now while that is happening, I'll speak to you about what happened. So when I was reading the news in the morning today, I read about there was a group of children, I believe, boys who are threatening a girl on Instagram and writing very rude and bad things. And the boys in question were exactly the same age, roughly the same age as my son. And it got me thinking that, what are we doing wrong? It's not the children, believe me, it's not the children. Every generation feels, oh, we were not like that. I don't know what's happening to this new generation. It's not that. See, today, my mom, she called me up and she, blasted me for using my sleeves, which I used to do when I was a baby, and she told me that this is not done and you're not a child anymore, please don't do that. And my son used to do the same thing, and when he used to come back from school, he was in the same school also and his sleeves were equally grey when he used to come back, and I couldn't tell him anything because I used to do the same thing. So I used to just quietly scrub it and put it in the machine for a wash. So I realized that it is we who have to lead by example. The onus is on the parents. So if we are doing something right, the children don't need to be taught that. We don't have to teach the child right or wrong. If we are doing it right, they will follow us and they will do it right. Every child is born with a certain sensibility, and we have the power as parents. We have the power to craft them, to enhance their skills, to enhance their confidence, to make them nicer people, better people. And mistakes everybody makes. We've made the mistakes. We've made a lot of mistakes. We will still continue to make mistakes as we keep living. I mean, we can make mistakes till the time we die. But the important thing is that if we are corrected at the correct time, at the right time, so the children, if they are making mistakes, which they will, which is natural, which everybody does, they should be corrected at the right time, and then they realize that, okay, this is where we are going wrong, and this is not how it should be done, and this is how we can do it. And when it's too long and then we start blaming the children, oh, this generation is like that and they don't know how to do this, we didn't have the exposure, this mobile is the problem with this generation. They're spending too much time on social media, and that is where everything is going wrong. It's not like that. How much we are learning, I could not imagine when I was a child that I will be speaking to the entire world like this. Could you? I could not. So this new generation is born with a very useful weapon if we make it useful. But let's not make it too late, to correct them and then blame them later that this is, it's not the generation's fault. We might, as parents, we must stand strong behind them like pillars of strength, so that they will make mistakes. It's natural. we should be there to guide them, and if they do falter, they have that confidence on us that we can tell them, this is the mistake I have made, I'm sorry, let's rectify it together. And it is rectified at the right time and it's done, they don't go to those levels, and they don't it's quite sad when you see them going all haywire. Let's make this our mission, and please encourage your children to speak to you. This time is a difficult time. Children are sitting at home. They are not meeting their friends. They can't go out to play. They are not doing the usual things that they can do. It might be daunting. It can play on their mind. They might become, quieter and feel left out. Give them a helping hand, and let's speak to them nicely and be friends. That's the key, which I am till date with my parents, because I know that if I am making a mistake, I will be corrected at the correct right time and I will mend it. And that's what is most important. Okay, so that we'll keep discussing. It really, mattered a lot to me, so I thought I should share it with you. So anyway, so now, as you can see, the veggies are all coated with the paste, and the veggies by now have absorbed all the flavor. So at this point now, again a little bit more of the water. See, the moment you start putting the coconut milk, what happens is, again, it has a tendency to curdle, as I told you. So I'll tell you what to do. So once you take out the coconut milk, now we put the water, put the gas on high and just let it come to not a violent boil, but just about let it become a little hot, and then we'll turn it down, and then we'll use the coconut milk. So coconut milk has a tendency to curdle. So what we do is we put it, we make the milk. So what I took it out of a packet and then I put it in the fridge for a bit so that it becomes cold. So whenever you're using anything, dairy, any kind of dairy, be it soy, be it coconut milk, be it milk, be it curd, remember that it should be cold when you're using it. I told you that yesterday also. See, now it's just about to, it's become hot. It's not boiling, but it's become hot. At this point, we just put in just like 2 spoons or 3 spoons at the moment, not more than that. And you give it a stir. Again, stirring constantly in the same direction. Any kind of dairy or anything which has a tendency to curdle, remember to keep stirring it in the same direction. Push everything down into the pan, the sides. See all the veggies, so push it down and stir. So you want this to also, see now it hasn't curdled, nothing has happened to it, nice and smooth, and it's mixed with all the veggies. So this is how it would look like. So once that is done, at this point we add the rice. Again, minimum for half an hour you soak it, rinse it well under running water. Very important, because there's a lot of chemical on the rice which is used when they packet it, obviously, because otherwise there'll be worms in it. So and soak it minimum for half an hour. You can soak it for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. So that is that. We put all the rice in. Again, I have taken a cup worth because we are just 2 of us. So roughly, I'll tell you weight wise, what happens is when you're trying to 1 cup, maybe anything. I can take such a small cup. You'll have such a big cup. So I realized I should tell you. So approximately 70 grams of uncooked rice, uncooked, unsoaked, the rice grain, 70 grams of that should be enough for one person. So what you do is you keep multiplying. So I have taken around 70 grams today, and when you soak it and when you rinse it and soak it, it does multiply a little bit. And when you are again cooking it, again it will fluff up. So that much is enough for one person normally. And then it's completely up to you. You see how your family is, if they're eating less, 10 grams less, but around 60 to 70 is good enough for a portion. At this point now, again, we try and put a little bit more of the coconut milk. So again, so now what we are doing is the liquid should be enough to cook the rice, right? So now it's not necessary that I had taken around 100 grams of the milk. So you'll have to just go by eye and see that it's enough to soak the rice in, as I told you last time also. See, so it should be enough to soak the rice. It should be just above the rice. And usually the measurements that I told you about the rice and water also, the measurement that I am telling you is versus uncooked rice. So if you're taking 70 grams of rice, you take around 140 ml of water. It should not be according to the soaked rice, because then there will be too much water and it will all become mushy. Because it's already half done. When you're soaking it, see, it's already soaking up so much water and it's beginning the process. So you don't have to take that much water then. You understand? So it's uncooked rice and water. The measurements are for uncooked rice and water. So around 50 grams of rice, 100 ml of water, 60 grams, 120. So like that, keep doubling. And then you go by eye. It might need little less, little more, depending. So at this stage again, little bit more of the salt according to how you like it. And a dash bit of sugar. And now you can put sugar, you can put jaggery. Jaggery is also a very nice thing to just a dash, just. Coconut milk is already a little sweet, remember, but because this is a spicy dish and it has a lot of chilies in it, you need to balance that out a little bit. So you need to put a little tad bit of sugar in it, just to give it that, just to balance out the flavors. Okay, now the rest of the lime leaves, I have 2 more with me here. Again, beautiful, crush and give it a good massage. Nicely crush it so that it starts leaving all its aroma, and that will stay on your fingers for quite some time. Wash it with soap also, and still you'll get that beautiful aroma of the lime leaves. So that, now push everything into the pan, put it on a medium high and let it cook away for at least 5 minutes. Now there is one very interesting thing which I want to show you. Now this is a fruit which we get very commonly in India, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and very widely used. Can you see? In Hindi we call it bel, otherwise it's called wood apple, stone apple, people call it stone apple also. And this is solid, so you have to crack it open like a coconut. Crack it open and see, I've cracked it here and kept it for you. See, it's stringy. Can you see? Stringy. And this is what it looks like, the pulp inside. So now what you have to do with this is, and it's called the fruit of the gods in India. Any kind of in Hindu religion, whenever we have a puja, or whenever we are giving food, or we are offering food to the deities, this is one of the main fruits that we offer. So and it's called and because why it is called the fruit of the gods is, it is good for everything. It is cooling in the summers. You will never get a headache. It's good for diabetes, people who are diabetic. You have to soak the pulp in water and let it be there for 10-15 minutes, and it's a mush. It's pretty much very mushy inside. So once you soak that in water, take out the pulp, soak it in water. So once you do that, you have to just crush it with your hands like that. So yeah, so once you start doing that, it all leaves all the it becomes orange in color, the water, and the pulp all dissolves in the water. Take that water, run it through a sieve, so all the fiber sort of gets left behind and you are left with the juice of this fruit. There are people who go ahead and now it's been 3 minutes. I'm going to so we are getting back to the food now. So it's been 3 minutes. We turn the gas to an absolute low for another 30 seconds or so. turn it to a high again and switch it off. Not to touch this now. As I told you, let the lid be, not to touch it, not to open it, and we'll keep it aside for at least 10 minutes. After that, we'll see what's happening to it. Okay, so what I was telling you about the bale fruit, the wood apple. So now what we do is, so we've soaked it, we run it through a sieve and we are left with the juice. Now you put a little bit of jaggery in it, little bit of rock salt, a little bit of lemon juice, and you put it in the fridge, and it is so good for, you will never get a heat stroke. Places which are because we are tropical countries, Sri Lanka, Thailand, India, and it's very readily available in our countries. I'm sure you get it abroad also. So in all countries, it's called wood apple or stone apple outside of India. So and it's very good for digestion, very good for people who have a weak intestine. Remember, people with a weak intestine, drink this every day. People with diabetes, drink it every day. People with diabetes needn't put anything in it, no sugar, no jaggery. Jaggery is not bad for diabetes, by the way, but there is no need because it is sweet as it is. Just to enhance that sweetness, we put a little bit in, but you can avoid it completely. I have it without the sugar. I just put a little bit of lemon juice and rock salt and I have it. And it's really yummy. It gives you that little tart, little sweet, little salty flavor. It's very, very nice. So do that. Very good for the intestines. It's very good for your hair. It's very good if you have the pulp. Your morning business that people get fed up of will never be a problem again. Your morning business will be a delight. Smooth sailing, as they say, which is very important in everybody's life. Life is miserable. The day is horrible if your morning business doesn't go as planned. So that is out of the way, and it's a fantastic fruit of the gods, as they say. So please do give it a try. So I am going to soak it in water. I just cracked it open and showed it to you. So I am going to soak it in water and keep it in the fridge, and I'll show you how to make that drink tomorrow for sure. And today, because we were making Thai food and this is very readily available in Thailand, I thought I'll just show it to you today, just so that it's in context. Okay, so but what we are making today again is a delightful drink. The fruit is readily available in India, all across the world, in the tropical countries, of course. If you ask any person what your favorite fruit is in India, there's only one answer. Mango, favorite fruit. And because of what is happening now, the only concern is that the mango season should not go without devouring kilos and kilos and kilos of mango. Indians can eat mango at any time of the day, night, make anything out of mango. We make shakes, we make chutneys out of ripe mango, raw mango we make juices out of. Today we are making a drink out of the ripe mango pulp. So I took one cheek of the mango, not the entire thing, one cheek of the mango. You slice it open, take out the pulp and run it through a sieve. I generally like it with the fiber because I feel fiber is most important in the fruit. So if you take out the fiber out of the fruit, it's of no use. The fiber is the good thing, the good part in the fruit. So I use it with the fiber. You can run it through a sieve if you want to. It will become nice and smooth. My darling glass. Okay, that's here. Now what we do is lemon juice. It was a small baby lemon, what I was using. So if you have a biggish lime or lemon, use half. You don't want it very, very sour also because it's going to be sweet and sour. Okay. So lemon juice, mango pulp, okay, sugar, not too much. The mango is nice and sweet. It's in season, as I told you. So just 1 spoon, tad bit more. My spoon is very, very small. It's like a teaspoon. So maybe 1 1/4 I've put. For starters, then we'll see. And alternately, you can put honey, you can put jaggery, as I told you, any natural sweetener that you want. I used unprocessed sugar, so I feel that's okay to use also. So I use that, and then we give it a good mix. Yeah. So since there is lime juice in that, the acidity of the lime juice will help the sugar dissolve very quickly. So you needn't, in 2-3 minutes you'll see the crystals of the sugar is almost dissolved. And once you're putting honey, then that's not a problem. Yeah. Okay, mom, today you should be happy. I'm using away tissue paper. We live in a very humid and hot state. West Bengal is very humid. So that's done. Now a little bit of ice we put in to the drink. I'll just get it. Ice. So I'm just putting 2 or 3 cubes. You can top it up if you like it very cold. Go ahead, top it up. I'll just keep that back and come. Okay, that's done. So we keep mixing that, and then we pour cold water, and you'll see how refreshing this is. It's so refreshing and it's so yummy once you start making these. And instead of water, you can also use pomegranate juice. If you have it handy, use pomegranate juice. It's lovely with that also. So that's our drink. Just check how sweet or not sweet it is. Perfect. So that's done. See, sunshine in a glass. Pretty? Okay. So we keep that. Now back to the food. Should we check what's happening to this? Huh? Open it. Okay. So let's go ahead and check. Surprise! Done! See how quick it is. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody. Please do learn how to cook. It's a life-saving skill. And as I said, anybody who knows how to eat must know how to cook. And eating the fresh food that you're making for yourself and for your family, fresh food, nutritional food, it gives you a lot of satisfaction. So please, I encourage you not to eat frozen food, pre-packed chips, and things which are full of chemicals. Just try avoiding that. We need to be strong. We need to, our immunity needs to be strong, and we need to be happy. And only fresh, good food can make you happy. So please do try and cook as much as you can. Ta-da! See how beautiful the long grains of rice. Can you see how nice it's looking? All the long grains of rice, it's absorbed everything, become nice and plump. The rice, the veggies are all cooked, so it's all done. And at this point, we put in fresh chopped coriander leaves. Makes everything nice and beautifully fragrant. Coriander leaves is something which can elevate any dish. You put it in normal, in India we eat a lot of dal chawal, which is lentils, just boiled and cooked and simmered, and we put a little bit of tempering in that, and rice. And if you put a little bit of coriander leaves only in your dal, in your lentils, it just elevates it to another level. So spices are good for you. Please, it's not that spices doesn't mean that it has to be very hot or very, it can burn your tongue. No, spices are fragrant. Spices used correctly are good for you, builds your immunity, gives you strength. So I'm getting tempted to taste. So just to show you, as I told you, taste. So we can check the seasoning at this point also and see whether the rice is properly cooked. See how beautiful it's looking. Nice and long grains of rice. Can you see nothing's broken? Because again, you use a light hand, very light hands when you're mixing soaked rice. Okay, so tasting time. Perfect. Perfect. See, trial and error is a must. As I told you, we all do make mistakes. So if we correct it at the right time, be it live, be it cooking, the end result is always good. So on that note, I'll take your leave for today and I'll see you tomorrow with a new recipe. Go to FOMO No More, like the page, hit the notification icon so that you're notified. And after this, you can dance and eat this at dinner time and enjoy. Namaste.